Malcolm X. In this 12-minute journey, we will delve into the life, personal life, legacy, struggles, triumphs, and more of a man whose name resonates with power, hope, and change, Malcolm X. Malcolm Little was born on May 19, 1925, in Omaha, Nebraska. His parents, Louise and Earl Little, instilled in him a sense of dignity and self-worth despite the hardships they faced. His father, Earl, was a dedicated civil rights activist who stood up against racial injustices. However, this made the Little family the target, and they faced ongoing violence and threats from white supremacists. The family's house was burnt down in a suspected act of arson when Malcolm was just a child. This traumatic event marked the beginning of Malcolm's tumultuous journey. After his father's tragic death, a suspicious train accident, Malcolm's mother, Louise, struggled to provide for her children. The weight of racial discrimination bore down on Malcolm from a young age. In his autobiography, Malcolm described his early years as marked by poverty, racism, and an oppressive environment that set the stage for his future. He encountered prejudice and discrimination daily, which fueled his determination to seek change. Malcolm X's influence on the civil rights movement cannot be understated. While figures like Martin Luther King Jr. advocated nonviolent resistance, Malcolm X offered a more militant and confrontational approach. His beliefs and actions challenged the status quo and pushed for a more immediate and radical transformation in the lives of Black Americans. Malcolm's message resonated with those who felt that peaceful protests and gradual change were not addressing the urgent needs of the Black community. He advocated for self-defense and the protection of Black lives, leading to the formation of groups like the Black Panther Party. His rhetoric served as a powerful counterpoint to the nonviolent activism of the era. The division between Malcolm X and civil rights leaders like Martin Luther King Jr. was not just ideological but also strategic. While King aimed to integrate Black Americans into the existing social and political structures, Malcolm X argued for the creation of a separate and self-reliant Black society. This difference in approach fueled important debates and discussions within the civil rights movement. Despite these differences, Malcolm X's impact was undeniable. His speeches and writings challenged the status quo, encouraged self-pride, and pushed for Black empowerment. His influence extended beyond the United States and inspired movements for racial equality around the world. Malcolm's life took a dramatic turn when he was incarcerated in 1946. His prison term marked a turning point in his life. It was during his incarceration that he began a transformative journey towards self-discovery. It was in prison that he discovered the Nation of Islam, a religious and political movement that would profoundly impact his life. Through intensive study, he became well-versed in the teachings of the Nation of Islam, particularly those of its leader, Elijah Muhammad. Elijah Muhammad's message resonated with Malcolm, and he adopted the Nation of Islam's beliefs. This marked a pivotal moment in his life, providing him with a sense of purpose and direction. The Nation of Islam, a religious movement founded in the 1930s, preached a message of Black empowerment, self-reliance, and the establishment of a separate Black state within the United States. It argued that the white establishment would never truly grant equal rights to Black Americans and that Black people needed to chart their own course. Key tenets of the Nation of Islam included the belief that Black people were the original humans and that they had been systematically oppressed by a white-dominated society. It advocated for strict moral and ethical codes, including abstinence from alcohol, tobacco, and pork. The teachings of Elijah Muhammad and the Nation of Islam deeply influenced Malcolm X, who saw in their message a path to self-discovery and personal redemption. The Nation of Islam provided a space for Black Americans to rediscover their identity and heritage, fostering a sense of pride and self-worth that had been systematically eroded by racism. Malcolm's powerful oratory and deep commitment to the Nation of Islam helped spread its message far and wide, attracting a growing number of followers and contributing to the movement's rapid expansion in the 1950s and 1960s. In his speeches, Malcolm X often articulated the frustration and anger of Black Americans who felt marginalized and oppressed. He famously said,
"We declare our right on this earth to be a man, to be a human being, to be respected as a human being, to be given the rights of a human being in this society, on this earth, in this day, which we intend to bring into existence by any means necessary."
Upon his release from prison in 1952, Malcolm X quickly rose through the ranks of the Nation of Islam, becoming a minister and influential speaker. He adopted the surname X to signify his lost African identity. Malcolm was known for his charismatic and fiery speeches, which resonated with African Americans seeking pride and empowerment. His speeches challenged white supremacy and advocated for black self-determination. His leadership contributed to the Nation of Islam's rapid growth during the 1950s and 1960s. Under his influence, the Nation of Islam established mosques and temples across the United States, attracting a growing number of followers. Central to Malcolm X's message was the call for black empowerment and self-reliance. He urged black Americans to take control of their lives, their communities, and their destinies. The Nation of Islam promoted economic self-sufficiency and encouraged black entrepreneurship. Malcolm's speeches often included practical advice for building black-owned businesses, investing in education, and strengthening family structures. Malcolm X's speeches and writings are replete with calls for self-reliance and economic empowerment. He famously said, "We need more light about each other. Light creates understanding, understanding creates love, love creates patience, and patience creates unity." This emphasis on unity and mutual support was central to his vision for the black community. In 1958, Malcolm married Betty Shabazz, and they had 6 daughters together. Their marriage was a symbol of strength and unity. His family life provided Malcolm with a sense of purpose and stability amidst the chaos of his public life. Betty Shabazz supported her husband's activism and played a crucial role in raising their children. However, the demands of Malcolm's activism often put a strain on his marriage and family life. He spent long periods away from home, speaking at rallies and organizing events, which presented challenges to his role as a husband and father. Malcolm X's commitment to his family was deeply rooted in his belief in strong family structures as a cornerstone of black empowerment. While he traveled extensively and engaged in the civil rights movement, he remained a devoted father and husband. His wife, Betty Shabazz, shared his dedication to their family's well-being. Despite the strains on his family life due to his public role, Malcolm's commitment to building strong family units was unwavering. He believed that by creating strong, loving, and supportive families, the black community could strengthen itself from within and overcome external challenges. Malcolm X's thoughts on family and community are evident in his statements. He emphasized the importance of unity and mutual support within the black community. One of his famous quotes highlights the idea that change begins at home. The mother is the first teacher of the child. The message she gives that child gives to the world. As Malcolm's prominence within the Nation of Islam grew, so did his disillusionment with its leadership and some of its practices. He publicly criticized Elijah Muhammad, the leader of the Nation of Islam, for alleged moral transgressions. This led to tensions within the organization. The fallout from his criticisms and disputes with the Nation of Islam leadership resulted in heightened threats to Malcolm's safety. He lived under constant fear for his life and that of his family. Malcolm X's growing disillusionment with the Nation of Islam culminated in his departure from the organization in 1964. He felt that the leadership had deviated from the core principles of black empowerment and self-reliance that had initially drawn him to the movement. His departure marked a turning point in his life and activism. Malcolm embarked on a journey to explore new avenues for achieving racial equality and justice. Malcolm X's departure from the Nation of Islam was accompanied by a shift in his message. He stated, "I believe in human beings and that all human beings should be respected as such, regardless of their color." In 1964, Malcolm embarked on a pilgrimage to Mecca, a transformative experience that deepened his understanding of Islam and its teachings. This journey expanded his worldview and led to a profound transformation. He witnessed Muslims of all races and ethnicities praying together, transcending the racial divisions he had experienced in America. Malcolm X's pilgrimage to Mecca had a profound impact on his beliefs and approach to civil rights. The experience of seeing Muslims of diverse backgrounds praying together shattered his previous notions of racial division. It led him to embrace a more inclusive, humanitarian vision of Islam and racial equality. Upon his return to the U.S., Malcolm's activism took a new direction. He began collaborating with other civil rights leaders, regardless of their race or religion, in the fight for civil rights and racial equality. His advocacy transcended the boundaries of the Nation of Islam, and he worked tirelessly to address the systemic racism and inequality that persisted in the United States. After his pilgrimage to Mecca, Malcolm X's message became even more focused on unity and inclusivity. He stated, "I believe that there will ultimately be a clash between the oppressed and those that do the oppressing. I believe that there will be a clash between those who want freedom, justice, and equality for everyone and those who want to continue the system of exploitation. Tragically, on February 21, 1965, Malcolm X was assassinated at the Audubon Ballroom in Harlem. The event sent shockwaves through the civil rights movement. Malcolm's assassination led to an outpouring of grief and outrage. He had become a martyr, a symbol of resistance against racial injustice and inequality. Malcolm X's legacy continues to be felt in the ongoing struggle for racial equality and justice. His commitment to Black empowerment, self-reliance, and the fight against racial injustice is a source of inspiration for activists today. The divisions and debates between Malcolm X and other civil rights leaders in the 1960s sparked important discussions about the best strategies for achieving racial equality. Malcolm's message of self-empowerment and the importance of building strong Black communities remains relevant. Malcolm X's journey, from a troubled childhood to a powerful civil rights leader, serves as a testament to the possibility of personal transformation and the enduring fight for justice and equality. His story is a reminder that change can be driven by the passion and determination of individuals who dare to challenge the status quo. Malcolm X's life was a testament to the power of personal transformation and the fight for justice. His legacy lives on, a reminder of the enduring struggle for equality and freedom. Thank you for joining us on this comprehensive exploration of Malcolm X's life. Please like, share, and subscribe to keep history alive.